So last time we discussed on the Terraform regarding the resource creation and blocks, the syntax of the Terraform and its workflow. How it is hitting the target API of the cloud provider and then authenticating and creating a resource. Let's go with some foundation things like which are the basic things which we need to learn first, and then we'll stick to other things. So first of all, we know already how to creating the resource over the a cloud with the Terraform workflow. We have been practiced some syntax also, resource configuration. So on the same resource, Terraform is having some default behavior. Default behavior means whenever you are applying Terraform commands, like whenever you are applying Terraform commands, so it is going its own behavior. But I would like to change. I want something in a customized way. I want to do a set of work on the cloud that we are doing on the graphical user interface. To control or to override, or you can say to control the configuration, control the provider configuration. So we can use meta arguments. Meta arguments are there. So these meta arguments providing me the benefit of overriding the Terraform default behavior over the resources. For Terraform resources, meta arguments. Meta arguments. So we have few meta arguments. Basically, we have few meta arguments. The meta arguments are, the first one is depends on. Depends on is the first meta argument, which is depending on the another resource. If one resource is created, then only another resource will create. One resource is created, then only another resource will create. That is depends on. Whenever you apply depends on, it depends on another resource. This we need to mention in the resource configuration. And count. How many instances you would like to create in the cloud? You can specify the count. And the one more, for each. For each. So this for each is going to map for each of your configuration. And then we have life cycle. Life cycle also one meta argument only. It is having a good benefits. So we'll discuss about this meta arguments, depends on, count, and for each life cycle. So depends on, let's take a general example, then get to understand. For example, I want to create an EC2 instance. EC2 instance. So this EC2 instance, I need a security group. Okay, I need the if you want to take VPC, otherwise you can go with the default VPC. It's fine. But after EC2 creation, VPC, these are all normal user. You can normal resources. You can run parallelly, or you can go in a sequence manner, one after other, one after other. If you are going with the EC2, how the sequence you're providing in the way of that Terraform is going to execute. And after EC2 instance creation, there should be elastic IP created. There should be elastic IP created. So for this EC2 instance, if you want to create EIP, because you want a permanent IP, EIP is created. So I want EC2 instance should be created. Top of it, EIP should be created and assigned to it. So without EC2 instance, what is the purpose of creating EIP? So you're not associating with anything. So I could go with the depends on now. I'm just creating EC2 instance and I'm going with the EAP, a general example. So if I take the VS code for it and let's do, this is our last DAX only. The left side I have app dot empty. Okay. So what I'll do, I will add the files. I'm going to rename this file as structure, okay, versions.tf. So in this versions.tf, let's keep the Terraform block and as well as our AWS provider block with AP South 1A region. So this is my Terraform block and this is my provider block. So I've been specified both the version, that's why I'm keeping this name as versions.tf. Okay, and I would like to create one more file which is vpc configuration.tf, let's say simply, and I want to create a vpc resource here and subnet route table and route table entries, all the resources I would like to create here. The first resource I want to create is vpc resource. The first one is vpc resource aws vpc, and this is my name, vpc name, and the same name you can use in the tags. Whatever the name you're using in the tags, that is going to be visible on your console, and this is your resource name inside the Terraform. Okay, and the CIDR block you're providing here. The next one is I would like to create a subnet. I would like to create a subnet. So to create subnet, again, see, if you are writing resource, here it is giving you which resource you want to. AWS underscore subnet. Automatically it will come if you download the extension. And give the name for it. Give the name for it. So this name, like your subnet name inside the Terraform. Okay, you can give the subnet name. So to do not waste the time. So I have already written this codes. I'm going to copy this. This block, resource block. Since I have mentioned AP South as a region, so I have to go with the one availability zone, AP South to 1A, and this is my VPC Dev Public Subnet 1. This is VPC Dev Public Subnet 1, and you need to associate under this. After opening block, VPC underscore ID. If you type VPC, automatically it will give you suggestion. And then AWS VPC. You need to associate, right? AWS VPC. This is the Terraform defined resource name. This is an ID, then only it can be identified. And after that, whatever the name you have used for your resource above, you have to give. And in the last, you have to give .id is mandatory. So then this resource will look and associate with this one. That means, hey, this subnet I'm creating under above VPC. creating under above VPC. So you have to provide always. So whenever you're providing regarding a security group or the internet gateway or anything you are referring to another resource, the ID we need to pass like this. The ID, default ID, which is defined by the Terraform, that is AWS VPC in the first resource block, and then your name, what you have given to it, and the last ID. So this we need to do. And after my public subnet, I want an internet gateway. To go with internet gateway, so same again, resource AWS underscore internet gateway, VPC dev IGW, and VPC ID you can see. So this is going to be associated with my VPC. Associated with my VPC. Now, I would like to create one more resource, which is route table. These are all resources. Route table. Now, the AWS route table, this is your name, whatever name you can give, but always give a good name which you can remember. And whenever you want to call, it should be very easy to in the suggestions. So if you give any very high complex names in the suggestion, also you will confuse. So always go with the simply and classic names, so that it very easy and very easy to identify. And in your suggestion also, when you're writing Terraform code in your suggestion also, it will be very easy for you. Okay, so now this is a route table. This is route table. Now I have to create a route in the route table. I just created a route table, but I need to enter some route inside the route table, right? So for that, so this is my other resource. AWS route is a resource and VPC dev public route is the name. But whenever you are writing a route inside the route table ID, that is AWS route table, you can see it is highlighted above. And VPC dev public route table, this is my name and ID. Then only it can refer to this one. And what is the destination block? 0.0.0.0 anyway. And what is the gateway ID? Gateway ID is my internet gateway, you can see. Internet gateway ID. So that's it. So this route is been going to write inside this route table. Okay, after this route table is writing, but I need to, what I need? I need to associate this route table with my subnet. Associate this route table with my subnet. So this is the resource for it. Route table, VPC dev, nothing. These are all I took from the Terraform registry only. You no need to worry from where if you read correctly, but you have to search for many pages to get this resource syntaxes. The only thing, you can edit these values. That's it. Edit the values and provide the correct IDs. And utilize this VS Code extensions so that it is very easy to write for us. It will give all the parameters for us. I'll tell you tips and tricks in the last. Whenever we are writing, it will give all the things what you need to write. We need to just edit the value according to our configurations. So this is route table association. And then I have to create a security group now. I need a security group to provide the traffic. Okay. So I'll go with a security group first. For my security group, I need ingress and as well as egress. Ingress as well as egress. So this is my security group. AWS security group, dev VPC default SG, and so this is the description and this is the ID. Ingress is for incoming traffic. Whenever you open ingress block, it will give you is equal to here. in your VS Code extension. But don't believe that the block is wrong. So you have to remove that easy code and give the this parenthesis curly braces, so that again it will suggest you for this configuration. From port 22 to port 22, protocol is TCP CIDR block, and one is for 80. For each protocol, you have to write like this. And egress is you have to write this rule, which is outbound. And my security group, all my resources has been written in the Terraform syntax. Now what I need, I want to create an EC2 instance. So this is my vpc.tf file. So I would like to create one more, which is main.tf, because this is my main resource, right? This is my main resource. So in this main resource, I would like to create my resource. So always main.tf you find in your organization, or yes, most of the things main.tf will be there for your main configuration. So let me go with the resource. Okay, the resource. Now if you see resource AWS instance, and I given an EC2 instance name, and I would like to change this AMI ID, because last time, which is the latest AMI ID? This is the latest AMI ID. And I have to change this one. Yeah. Okay. Now this is my resource AMI instance type key name subnet. So subnet ID we are referring here, and security group ID also. For security group only, you have to provide this symbol, not curly braces, not this one. For VB security group, you have to provide the square brackets and your user data. But after this creating EC2 instance, I would like to go with one more one, which is EIP. So let me create EIP.tf. So for this EIP, I need to specify resource and as well as meta argument. I need to specify resource and meta argument. This is my resource, AWS EIP, my EIP, and this is the instance. And if you see, the VPC is equal to true is there, but now this block I need to close. But this one is there, VPC is equal to true. If you provide also okay, if you not provide also okay. That is in the old version, VPC is equal to true. Now in the new version, it's not required. Now I have to write depends on meta argument. Now this is my meta argument. This is my meta argument. My meta argument is depends on coming solution. Depends on is equal to, now I have can provide AWS internet gateway and my VPC. VPC hyphen dev hyphen igw hyphen igw. But I must close this one here. Yeah, depends on AWS Internet Gateway vpc.tf. AWS Internet Gateway, this one, this ID. Okay. After creating, after creating my EC2 instance, my EC2 instance, then create this one. See, sorry, resource EIP, my EIP instance AWS. It is the resource which is need to be applied on it, but depends on create EIP and do this one after creating AWS Internet Gateway. After this, you do this one. The AWS Internet Gateway is the source which it has to depends on. If I go and save all this and apply, and before that, let's go and see the our AWS console. Shit. Can someone provide your credentials? Can someone help me with your AWS credentials? Just send your things private to me. You're sending to everyone. In two section, select me and share your password, please. I'm waiting for your password, Chandrakant. Thank you, Chandrakant. Let me create access key and secret key. Maybe solve one. Yes. Okay. Let's check this instance. So here you can see we are in N Virginia. Let's switch to the Mumbai, and in N Virginia, let's switch to the Mumbai. Why the value, the parameter of the material is invalid. Did not provide extension here. It is enough. Let's do one thing. It's downloaded. Let me keep the file here and I would like to change it. Yeah, save all and now run Terraform in it. Let's remove this version of Terraform block. It's the old version. Now save all. And Terraform FMT and Terraform validate. But there is this something TIP main versions. What about the VPC.tf? Okay, let's give the plan. So what all it's creating? VPC dev will be created, subnet will be created, 1, 2, security group will be there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now if you go and apply hyphen auto hyphen approve, automatically it is going to approve. You will no need to provide yes prompt. creating first VPC, uh, well parameter value AP South 1A, subnet is correct only created following availability zone. VPC.tf line number 8. South, spelling mistake. AP South hyphen 1A. Okay, save it and do init one more time and then apply it. Terraform is an idempotent tool. So previously it is already created VPC. So now it is, since it is created, it will not go and not try for the creating VPC. Directly go for the second resource which you have specified. So that is idempotent, like Ansible. In Ansible, we will say, right, changes is equal to 1, 0. So when no change is there, the configuration already there in the remote, then it will show you 0. And if the change is needed, then it will show 1. Now it is done. If you see and refresh, you have your VPC. You have your subnets. Okay, one public subnet here you can see this one. And route table also, this one. Internet gateway. Okay. The after ID, the name came. After ID, the name came as an ID. And your elastic IP. Your elastic IP is created. This IP should be for your EC2 instance. If I come in the instances section and refresh, now it is running, and this is my elastic IP resource. Okay. And if I copy and search the same, it came. Welcome to this one. Okay. This is how the meta argument is going to work. Depends on. So this EIP is created. This EIP is created. You can see my AWS EIP creation complete after ID. Okay. And after your EC2 instance is created and depends on internet gateway. This is a sequence. This is a sequence, but in the above sequence we have done some change and then we went for it. In above sequence, what happened? VPC dev, it's created, then internet gateway is created. Okay, already internet gateway is created. That's how here your EIP is able to create. If your internet gateway was not creating, so your EIP will not create and it will not associate an IP to your EC2 instance. Depends on. So this is the one meta argument. Always depends on. So if I go and destroy, and we can see other meta arguments. Destroy. So all are deleted. Let me go with one more. So here I have main.tf, and here I would like to create a resource. I would like to create a resource, and I'm not utilizing this EAP. I'm not utilizing this versions. I'm not utilizing this VPC and all. I'm only going to utilize this versions because Terraform block is used and provider block is there already. So what I want 5 EC2 instances or 10 EC2 instances to be created. To create that, you can write a simple resource configuration. Resource, give the AWS underscore instance, that's it, and give a name to your instance. Let's say my VM. Okay. And then after, you can write AMI. You can select on this, and the new AMI ID I'm going to take because I have saved already. New AMI also, without providing this, Terraform can be selected the new latest AMI. That block also we can write. That block we call it as data block. And here instance type. Which instance type you want? T2.micro. T2.micro. That's it. And then how many instances you want? Count. How many instances you want? Here I want 4, for example. So when you give this count and you want to create 4 instances, so this count argument is going to work and create the 4 instances. And later, if I would like to identify them, so I can give tags and open block, and here I can give a name, any name. Name is equal to, we can give like this, web dot hyphen, sorry, web hyphen dollar. I would like to call above count as a variable here. Above count as a variable. Count dot index. So index means it is going to apply 4 instances you're creating, right? 0 is the number, it is an instance. 1 is a number, it's an instance. Like web 01, web 02, web 03, web 04. So web 01, it will create up to web 03. So this is how the sequence it follow. This is my thing. I'm not calling any VPCs and anything here. It's just the normal resource or the default VPC. I'll save it, and if I run the same, init first, and if you see EC2 instance section, this is already terminated. And now let me give the plan. Referring to resource control slash. That's it. Now it is showing it is creating. Okay. What I'll do, I'll go into apply, auto apply. Creating, refresh. Web 0, Web 02, Web 01, Web 03. Three instances are creating at a time. This is count argument. Whenever you need a number of resources over the cloud, okay, you can use the best example. We mostly use it is it instances count because the number of hours we create. Okay, so count is one meta argument, and we do have for each and life cycle and provision. Okay, now let me destroy it. We have one more meta argument is called for each. For each. So in this for each, we have two things. One is map for each map, and one is toSet function. One is map, another one is toSet function we use the for each. Mapping key value and key toSet function all values in list. That is toSet function. If you see, well, we have already destroyed. I'll go to main.tf, and here let's go with an example of S3 buckets for mapping. Let me write resource for what? S3 bucket, AWS underscore S3 bucket. Here already came. And then we can give the ID, the resource ID, the name. It should be unique one. Let's say 20, okay? S3 20 or 24, like this. And then here I can go with for each, automatically came for each open block. So in this automatically the value it is asking key, what key you want to. Hey, for example, I would like to create a bucket for my developer. I'll give a dev. And what is the value for it? The value of the bucket name is dev team bucket. I'll give this BB. Okay. And the second one, I would like to go with the QA also. The same way, you can give is equal to and this one and name it as QA team -BB. And same way, you can go with the staging is equal to this one and give stage -team -BB. I'm applying for each. So what happens? It creates the dev team BB, QA team BB bucket, stage bucket. So whenever I'm creating this bucket and I need to assign these mappings to my bucket. So when my bucket is creating, for example, my bucket is creating bucket open double quotation marks call the variable itself only each dot key each dot key and again one more variable each dot value each dot key each dot value. So when each key and each value should be applied for my bucket, it's giving in red color. I think we need to do some corrections. Okay, let me complete. I would like to provide the names. So here I'll say environment. Okay, environment is each dot key and bucket name the same thing. My bucket name will be this one. Then after each value is dot value. Bucket tags. Okay, let me try. If it is gives an error, then we'll try to fix. Line number 10. This resource block I'm closing here. I should not close here. I have to close in the down. Save all in it. Yes. Now give the plan. Parallelly, we can come to our S3 bucket section. Buckets. There are no buckets as of now in the Mumbai region. Okay. Should be all terminated. If I go with auto approve, creating buckets. If you see, refresh, creating buckets, you can see with my names. Each bucket with each different name. For this, we use for each map. A map, and we do have two set also. So this is how we use the map. And going forward for the two set, I'll going to terminate the same. Moment. For to set, for an example, I would like to create 3 or 4 different users. Let's say, so to create 3 or 4 IAM users, I can go with toSet function. I'm just removing this resource and I'm called AWS underscore IAM users underscore user, and you can give the ID name here. Let's say IAM user. I'm giving here. I would like to write for each. It is a two set. I need different guys with different name should be created. Two set function, you can say automatically two set came and open bracket. Here you have to open square brackets again because it is a list. So I would like to create, for example, Yugesh and comma, and I would like to create one more guy like uh, Rahul, and I would like to create one more person like with it. Okay. So 3 users I would like to create. Okay. Then name, I would like to apply the name. Those are the keys, and each key you can see automatically. Each key. That's it. Now these 3 users are going to create by using this for each to set function. I'll save all, and if you go and click on IAM users, we're not having any user as of now. Let me do init. I'll go directly for auto upload. Creating 3 users. Refresh. Created 3 users with the toSet function. This is how we can use for each in mapping and as well as in toSet function. We do have one more lifecycle meta argument that again have 3 things. Okay, we'll practice, we'll continue rest of things from tomorrow onwards. I'm going to destroy the same.